She's about to earn some bragging rights. I'm about to give it up like I've been holding back all night. Girl, take pride in what you wanna do, even if that means a new man every night inside of you. Well, baby, I don't mind. You can tell by how I roll. Cause my click hot and my cup cold, my tongue slurred cause I'm so thrown. I'm wiping sweat from my last show. He's TG and I'm XO. I'm only here for one night, then I'ma be a memory. See it in my ears so I can hear what you're saying to me.
Oh, man. What's going on, y'all? That was The Weeknd, of course, man. And Wiz Khalifa. Actually, it's Wiz Khalifa featuring The Weeknd. So anyway, what's up, y'all? It is the D Podcast Experience, number one, the first one, the catalyst that starts all of them. Anyway, my name's Dwayne Johnson. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate it. I don't have a set schedule with these things. They're just going to be uploaded, you know, maybe once a week, maybe 2 a week, something like that. But that's just what's gonna happen. I don't have a set schedule yet, but I'm gonna be setting up guests and to come on the show. I'm gonna be plugging a lot of stuff, y'all, because this doesn't necessarily, like I said before on the intro, on the little intro, the other video I uploaded, this isn't scripted. It's not rehearsed or anything like that. It's just straight off the cuff. And the podcast is basically just me talking about my opinions on stuff, or I'm also going to have an email for y'all to write into, the dpcexperience@gmail.com. I'll be talking about questions or anything that you guys would like my opinion on or anything, and I'm just going to be basically updating you on just what's going on with me and what I see and things like that. But right off the bat, I want to thank everybody that's been supporting me on this weight loss journey thing, man. It's going crazy. I know I talk about it a lot, but there's a lot of people out there that I feel you know, they need the information and the motivation. You know, it's not the easiest thing to get into when you're overweight and, you know, you see yourself every day, but you make up excuses so you don't have to see yourself. You know, the best case scenario, if you are a very big person, you know, you're one of those big people that are just happy-go-lucky. You know, you just accept it for what it is. And, you know, if you want to get into shape, or maybe not even just getting in shape, maybe it's just living healthier, whatever your reason to want to start getting into shape. But anyway, what's up, everybody? What's going on? I hope everyone had a good weekend. I got out this weekend, which was really, really cool. Went down to this food cart place in Oregon. I can't remember where exactly it's at or whatnot, but a lot of the food carts weren't there. It was kind of weird to see, but got out. It was a beautiful weekend. The skies were awesome. It was just really awesome. It's a sucky time to have a broken leg. For those of y'all who don't know, I have a broken leg. I'm going on 2 months now, and besides the things that I do, there's a lot of stuff I do. Photography is one of them, and it's a perfect time for photography, right? Actually, any time is perfect if you know how to use light, but it's a perfect time right now to be outside and all that, but I have a broken leg, so there are some things I'm still going to be able to do with a broken leg. I have a few shoots coming up and stuff like that. But anyway, so I'm on Instagram, and as I go on Instagram almost every day to upload something, I have a few Instagrams, actually a couple. My main Instagram, guys, is Dwayne Yes I Can Johnson. All in one sentence, Dwayne Yes I Can Johnson. Then my other one is Dwayne Johnson's Photography, DuaneJohnsons Photography. And go on there, check that out, stuff like that. But anyway, I'm on my Instagram, and it's unfortunate because my Dwayne Yes I Can Johnson account that's my weight loss one, and I've lost I've lost 359 pounds now in a little over 4 years, and all natural, just eating right and exercise and things like that. But there are certain people that I follow, for motivation or followed, past tense, for motivation or whatnot. And after a while, I had to unfriend them, and it sucks because, or not unfriend, but unfollow us because, they get to a certain point, and then they just get Hollywood. They get a couple sponsors, and then all you see is them posted with whatever their sponsor is. Like, I understand you have another avenue to make money and all this other stuff, but you do have people that follow you. And when you get to the point to where all you're posting is like advertisements, and you're not, like, your channel changes to the point of, and granted, I'm not saying it's not supposed to change. It's your channel. You do what you want. And hey, if you just want to post videos of your sponsors and you advertising for them, by all means do that. I'm not saying don't do that. It's just disheartening when you're following somebody and their channel's like, quote unquote, a regular channel, right? Regular meaning there's no sponsors or no nothing. It's just them working out or showing you what they're doing or whatever the case may be. And then they get to a certain point to where even their photos change, their photos change. And it's almost like they become a different person. Even though you do become a different person, you're still the same, but it's the character. I guess that's what it is. Like the character in that person, which is really crazy because 90% of the people that are on your Instagram or your Facebook or whatever, you don't actually see in real life. And so you can't even, it's not even character. You just have to go off of what they post if you don't know them, right? So if there's an Instagram of somebody and all they show is like them out all the time at a club or a bar or chilling or dancing or whatever, then your impression of that person is, okay, they're a partier, but they might not really be a partier. They might, that might not be their character. That just might be the only thing they post. It's not, you don't always have to take what people post for really how they are. In some instances, yes. When I see people that are constantly having to defend themselves, or they're constantly in drama, it just makes me wonder, well, what company are you keeping for you to be around all that drama all the time? But so it's not like a judge a book by its cover, but you post what you post what you want. It's your own stuff. You know what I mean? Some pages are very, very transparent and real, and other ones, they just show you what they want to show you. Speaking of which, shout out to my main man Darnell, man. I have a homeboy of mine, and the reason why I can say his name and not, put him on blast is he was being 100% real the other night. He went on Facebook Live, and he just had one of those moments I think we all have where you get it out. You get it out. And the frustrations, the things that you're just upset with, and he was just being 100% real, 100% transparent, letting everybody know that, people aren't perfect, man. And in the social media world that we live in, a lot of people just want to, they just want to portray or post pictures that make them portray that their life is perfect. They don't ever show, the hard stuff they're going through. They don't show, or they don't talk about that. Now, having said that, I do have friends that, since they live on their Facebook, they post everything, the good times, the bad times. They're very transparent. So, but I think from the perspective of where he's coming from, I just gotta, I gotta shout him out and say thank you for doing that, man. Because like you were saying in there, I don't know if it's still posted up to your Facebook or whatnot. That was the first time that you ever did the Facebook Live thing, man. And I don't know if it's still up on your Facebook or whatnot, but it was real. And there's a lot of people that would never do what you did, man, because they're too worried about being judged. They're too worried about being looked at funny or whatever. And knowing that at the end of the day, Nobody's perfect on this earth, man. We all have imperfections and all this other stuff. We just have to be comfortable with them. You know what I mean? And he was basically on his Facebook, just letting everybody know he's going through some stuff, man. He got some stuff that's inside of him that he's going through, and he's being real about it. He's very outspoken. He's always been that way. And he's an intense dude, man. He's an intense dude especially when it comes to competition. I remember back in the day, we used to hoop, and we used to play basketball together. And for anybody that grew up around the Vancouver area, Vancouver, Washington, that is, not Canada, around Bagley Center on Fridays and Saturday nights, man, if you was a baller, you were there. All right. If you weren't a baller, but you wanted to watch good balling, then you went to Bagley Center on Friday and Saturday nights back in the day, man. That midnight basketball was it. And he would be out there, he would be out there balling every once in a while, along with some of my other longtime friends that I haven't seen in a long time. And I always wonder what happened to him, you know what I mean? But shout out to old Russell Brown out there in Minnesota, man. I hope you're doing well, brother. Anyway, I honestly think that because of social media and because of how much social media is used in everyday life, compared to when I was growing up, I'm 40 years old. So compared to when I was growing up, it's a whole nother world, man. It's so different. I can't even explain, it's to actually have it be a thing, to be alive before the internet was created, is crazy to me. Like, my generation was the last generation to be around before the internet was invented. I mean, that's insane to me, and when you try to explain to like millennials or people in that era what it was like without it, some of them look at you like, what are you talking about? Like, how did you guys live? It's so crazy, and just to think about communication in general, right? We went from having to get on boats to go to other lands to relay a message. Then we went from that, we went to like pigeons, right? And tying little notes around their little legs and having them fly across the world to deliver a note, which I don't even know how you do that, but it's crazy. But and then you go horseback. We're on the same land, and your neighbor, you got to get on a horse, and you're horseback, and you gotta ride for a day just to get to your neighbor's house, and hopefully you make it back, and then you had vehicles and airplanes and all that kind of stuff. And then from that, man, we go to computers and cell phones and email and video chat and just crazy stuff. And then we have Facebook Live and streaming and all this other stuff, man. It's just, it's intense. It's a gift and a curse at the same time, because it gives everybody a platform. Everybody. It doesn't matter if you're somebody who is on the up and up, by the book Larry, or if you're somebody who just, for whatever reason, is, in that drama or likes to stir the pot or whatever, it gives everybody a platform. Everybody. It doesn't matter. I don't get into politics and all that BS, man, because people don't know how to just have a conversation without it turning into an argument. But it gives everybody a platform. The internet gives everybody a platform. And it also, it birthed cyberbullies, right? We got these people that hide behind a monitor and a keyboard, and they love to make fun of others. They love to point out other people's deficiencies or other people's downfalls or shortfalls. But as they're hiding behind their keyboard, it's just they're projecting what they really feel on the inside out. That's how they project, right? And so it's not even like they really feel the way that they do. It's just, Anyway, I'm getting off into a tangent like I do. Many of y'all know, it's just the internet's crazy. The internet is so crazy, and for people to find real people on there, people that are transparent, they're gonna show you their bad days along with their good days. You know, they're not every single one of their pictures is always gonna be a filtered picture with hearts and stars and all that. I mean, is there any more profile pictures that don't have filters anymore? I mean, really? You know, it's funny. There's posts and comments that are made on all social medias, Instagram, Twitter. I mean, everything. Which you can also find me on Twitter as well, Dwayne Johnson's music. But there's people on there, especially females, that'll be like, "Oh, this is me. Sorry, I have no makeup on, no filter." It's like, why are you apologizing? Like, we've gotten to a point to where we're apologizing because we don't look our absolute best when we're in front of some kind of a camera. And then when you think about just that in itself, why are we even worried about it? The world is basically turned into, because of everything is so visual now, right? Because of the streaming and because of the video chats that you can do and all this other stuff, it's like people have to look a certain way 24/7, and it's so exhausting, guys. It's so exhausting. And I think that's where you start getting into the fake stuff, because you're not willing to accept yourself for who you are. You're trying to look a certain way in front of a camera to gain acceptance from people who are doing the same exact thing. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. What's beautiful is when people are themselves. What's beautiful is being able to see the diversity in people, you know. So I don't think every single picture or every single profile picture always has to be perfect. It doesn't always have to be a glamour shot, although it is nice to have, you know, good looking pictures of yourself. It makes you feel good. It doesn't matter if you're an insecure person or a secure person. Everyone loves a good picture of themselves. I mean, it's just what it is. But at the same time, when that's how you validate yourself, then that becomes an issue. If that's how you feel you need to get through the day is through your likes and through your positive comments and through all this other stuff, then there's a deeper seated issue there. Okay. And I would suggest that you sit with yourself and find out why you thrive off of that, you know. But anyway, shout out to my man Darnell for being real, man. A lot of people out there need to do that. We need to do that. So, also, what do you guys, I mean, I'm a sports dude, football and basketball. I'm not a real big fan of baseball and all that. I do like soccer, but only during the World Cup, and the team that I root for is Ghana. I love Ghana. I don't know why. I think it's just, shout out to my man Stewie turned me on to soccer about 7 years ago. Well, no, because there's been 2 World Cups now, so it's been about 10 years, man. I've been into soccer, but Ghana's always been my team, man. I don't know why. It's just what it is. My heritage is Nigeria, so I'm Nigerian, but I just really like Ghana. I don't know. It is what it is. But anyway, but as far as sports goes, my basketball heads out there, what do you think about the whole, you know, LeBron James going to a different team? What's really crazy about the whole sports world is these contracts these guys are getting. I mean, LeBron James, the full max contract, $240 million or something like that. And it's like, what are we talking about, man? I miss the 90s. I miss the 90s basketball. And the 90s basketball, there was no talk about contracts. I didn't know what any of the players were making back in the 90s, because it wasn't about what they were making. It was about the play on the court. And I'm talking they played ball. Like, a lot of these guys now, you want to talk about physical basketball. A lot of these guys now, man, are not about that fighting life, and they act like it. There's a bunch of pushing around and shoving and all that, and jaw-jacking. Man, I'm going to tell you, there was no jaw-jacking in Detroit back in the bad boy days with Isaiah Thomas and Bill Laimbeer and Joe Dumars and all those guys. And then in Chicago, of course, with Jordan and Pippen and Bill Cartwright and all those. I mean, New York. Come on, man. Come on, man. Either Anthony Mason and Charles Oakley. You're gonna try to go in there and push and shove with those dudes? No, I don't think so, because they're not about that whole jaw jacking. They're actually about action, man. Back in those days, they threw down. It wasn't this pushing and shoving. It wasn't, we didn't focus on how much this person was making and we didn't focus so much on how they were living and what do they do on vacation. And what's crazy is people forget these people are mega rich because of us. Y'all realize that? Right? You go to a 9-to-5, you get your paycheck, you go and you get tickets to go to these games. They're rich because of us. And then there's people, well, no, they have endorsements and stuff like, yeah, they have endorsements, but guess what? They have endorsements because of us as well, because we give them the attention. It's like the whole LeVar Ball and the Ball family. I'm so sick of hearing them, and it sucks because it's not the kids' fault at all. It's not the three sons' fault. Although the middle son, I don't know which one that is, but the one that went overseas and got in trouble for stealing some glasses in China or whatever. It's like, man, your family's already well off. What are you doing? And for LeVar Ball, which sucks because that's why he's famous. I'm sitting here talking about him. But this dude, if you don't know who he is, research him. Okay, he's a drama king is what I call him. Not a drama queen, he's a drama king. Now, the love that he has for his kids, undeniable. I'm not saying anything about that. But this dude is living vicariously through his kids, and it's sad. It's so sad, man. He's teaching his kids that if you don't get your way, screw it. Take your ball and go home. It's like when you go to a park or something like that. I used to play basketball at Evergreen Park. Not just play, I used to run that court. Me and some friends, we used to run Evergreen Park back in the day growing up. But anyway, it's like the kid coming that comes in and then he's losing, or he's not, he's just not playing very well. He gets mad and takes his ball and goes home. And 9 times out of 10, man, it's a pretty good ball too. So it's like, taking a good ball. But LeVar is the same way, man. He's that dude who's like, when he doesn't get his way, screw it. I'm going to take my ball and I'm going to go home. And that's what he's done with his kids. And it's sad. It's very, very sad. Alonzo Ball, who plays for the Lakers, man, it's a bad rap because his dad won't shut the hell up. And he's all over Twitter. He's all over social media. And this dude he's famous because of us. But all those stars are famous because of us. And back in the day, in the 90s, in the mid to late 80s and 90s, basketball was something else, man. It was so different. And this whole talk about LeBron and Jordan and Kobe and who's better and all this, just appreciate all of them in their era. I will say this, though. LeBron James, the league that he plays in now, the East Coast, is nowhere near as hard as it was back in the 90s and in the mid to late 80s, okay? First of all. Second of all, he is a dominant player in a league that calls fouls for people breathing on him. Half the calls that he gets, he wouldn't get if he played back in the day. It just wouldn't happen. And the way I differentiate their play, because I'll pick Michael, if I was starting a team and I needed, a point guard or a shooting guard or just someone that can handle the ball, and I needed to start a team, I would start a team with Jordan all the way. Jordan would be my first pick. My second pick would be Shaquille O'Neal. Those are my 2 picks right there. But that's just me, guys. That's just me. But I would pick Jordan because Jordan played in an era where elbows and forearms were part of the ball. Literally. There was no hand checks and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, it was just a different time. And Jordan was killing fools. Now, if Jordan in his prime was playing in the era now to where superstars and megastars, they get breathed on, they get to go to the free throw line, Jordan be unstoppable. Unstoppable. And there wouldn't even be a discussion. But I will say, in my eyes, Jordan is the GOAT, always will be the GOAT. LeBron is a great, fabulous player. He's the best player in the world in this era right now. Kobe Bryant was one of the best players in his era. Jordan was one of the best players in his era, but I see him as being the best ever. The best ever, just in my opinion. Just in my opinion. But you can't necessarily compare the two unless they were all in their prime as far as LeBron and Jordan. They all bring something to the table, just like all the greats do, you know? And I think you can only compare them against their time frame that they played. There's a lot of players that back in the day, back in the 50s and 60s, that just aren't as athletically gifted as they are nowadays either. But Jordan was one of those dudes that was before his time. When you hear people being called, you know, oh, that's before their time. He came before his time. I mean, that's real. That's some real stuff, you know, and it's in any sport. It's you know. But anyway, I didn't mean to get off on a sports tangent. But yeah, the whole where's LeBron going and all this other stuff. I'm just glad. Back in the day, you guys remember the decision, that hour-long special LeBron had on TV where he was sitting down at that dang table and he's like, I'm going to take I decided to take my talents to South Beach. And it's like, all right, bro, you needed an hour to do this, you know? So I also think he was young, man. That was like 2010 or something like that. I don't know. 2009 maybe. But no, it's just gotten everything has just gotten out of control, man. It's just gotten weird. It's just gotten it's a different time. It's just such a different time that we live in, right? Elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, I mean, the people physically look different. Their physical appearance looks crazy different. These kids are looking like adults, man. My first time dropping my son off when he was a freshman, he graduated this year. But when he was a freshman and the first day of school that I dropped him off, it was insane. It was insane. I didn't know who the teachers were versus the students. It was, you know, it was just crazy. It was just crazy. I remember when I was in school, it was, man, it was just a lot different. It was a lot different. Yeah, it blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. Also, what I wanted to get into, just so everybody knows, is I'm going to be plugging people. And what I mean by that is people that I find are, you know, either giving back to the community or just grinders and people that are hustling. I always shout them out. My big brother Byron, many of you know him as DJ Dirty. He's one hell of a chef, man. One hell of a meat cook. You know what I mean? He's good with the meat. Pause. He's good with it though. He's always smoking some kind of meat or preparing something, marinating something. He's always having something come out of the smoker or come out of the oven or something. He's one hell of a dude and he's one hell of a DJ too. So please, you know, reach out to my man for parties or weddings or club events or whatever. It's DJ Dirty. But also, you guys got to look out for this man's food, man. I mean, he needs to branch out with it. He really does. Also, shout out to my man Wes Camfield. He makes digital posters for local artists, and not just music, but if you have an organization and you're looking for a logo, or if you're a band and you have, you know, some dates coming up and you need some digital flyers, look for my man Wes Camfield. He's amazing. He's awesome. He did the representation for this podcast, the D Podcast Experience. He's the one who created the clip art for it, and he also did the artwork for Dwayne Johnson's photography, the logo to that as well. He's just a cool dude. He's just a really cool dude, and he's mad talented. So, but anyway, I'm gonna be doing shout outs like that all the time. So if you guys have somebody you'd like me to shout out or, you know, give attention to or whatever, just let me know. But other than that, what else is going on, man? What else is going on? Not a whole lot else is going on with me. Just grinding. The other podcast that I'm a part of called it was called Love Talk Radio. It has now been switched to Lit Expressions, which is going to be awesome. We're still going to have guests on there like we've been doing. It's just the topics are going to be able to be broader, meaning just more topics and not just focus so much on relationships and you know, things like that. Although we're still going to be talking about stuff like that. It's still going to be one of the subjects, but we're just broadening and talking about basically whatever. And another podcast that I think you guys should be getting down with as well is the Funk Shop TV podcasts. Those are awesome. I'm glad they're starting back up. There's a few episodes of season 3 that are up now. Also on Twitch. You can find it on Twitch as well, the website Twitch. I thought it was just for video games, but there's a bunch of stuff on there. I'm late to the party as always, because I don't really care about keeping up with like certain things, you know, certain dances, certain rappers, certain artists, certain whatever. It's like I don't know half of these people. It's like all these rappers, like one of these rappers passed away unfortunately the other day, because at the end of the day they're human beings, but Triple X or whatever got shot or something, or I don't know. I have no clue, but I don't even know who that is. Never heard of him, don't know. But there was this photo I seen that had all these rappers, and Triple X was one of them, and it had like 7 or 8 rappers on it, and of course they all looked the same, but I didn't know who any of them were. And how crazy is that? With social media and everything like that, I just didn't know who they were at all. And plus, even if I did, I kind of stopped following mainstream rap and hip hop and some R&B a long while ago, y'all. There's on the internet, there's so many talented artists that I listen to that a lot of people have never heard of as well. But these people are supposed to be mainstream, like People Choice Award winning type of people, where everybody's supposed to know who they are. Like, I don't know who these cats are, man. I don't, because I'm just not, I'm like that old dude who's telling people, you're being too loud, turn it down, or back in the day when people used to come out and they used to tell people, stay off my grass, you know what I mean? Stay off my lawn, like in that movie Friday, stay off my freaking grass. But, yeah, man, I don't know any of these cats, I don't know. I don't know any of them. I can't understand any of them or anything like that. So, but I just, it's crazy. The whole music scene itself is just crazy. And I choose to find other things. There's so many other artists out there that it blows my mind. It really does. There is so many talented people in the world. My boy Mighty's doing his thing. And I'm so proud of him, man. Mighty Nation is going hard, man. Going hard and going strong. He just released a video, the Chun-Li challenge. Man, you got to check that out. I might have a link or some kind of a description so you guys can go see that. I mean, my dude, he goes hard, and it's It's ridiculous, guys. I mean, this dude, he should have been famous a long time ago, but he's on his way and he's doing his thing. He's gotten to open up for a lot of people, and I'm very, very proud of him. Also, my boy Quiz doing his thing. Most of y'all in this area know who, or at least heard of Quiz, and he's doing his thing, man. I'm proud of him. He's been doing his thing for quite some time, and he released some semi-new music just a little while ago as well. Please check him out. Quizzilla doing his thing. But anyway, the music scene is just, it's so different to me as far as the mainstream hip hop heads, you know, and I just, man, there's nothing like an old like Ice Cube record, right? Or an old Tupac record, or even go back further like a Public Enemy or something like that. It was, the substance was just different. The substance was just, it was different. Ice Cube has an album, Lethal Injection, I think it was. I could be wrong, but I mean, all his albums he put out back then were dope. NWA albums were dope. I mean, what else was I listening to back then, man? I was just listening to a lot of stuff. Tupac, obviously, but he came a little bit later. But I mean, when this whole rap music started becoming big, like not just East Coast versus West Coast stuff and all this. I'm talking about when it was like when hip hop and rap became really big and music started coming out from everywhere. Man, those were the days, you know. But I don't necessarily know where. I don't like to call it mumble rap because it's disrespectful, but I would feel that is disrespectful if I was one of those rappers, but that's kind of what it is, man. You can't understand what you're saying, and then you have auto-tune on top of everything else, and it's like that confuses it even more. And it's like some of the beats are dope, and unfortunately it's the beat that I look forward to more than the actual content within the beat, you know. And so that's just me. That just might be the oldness in me or whatever, but that's just me, y'all. But yeah, so, you know, as far as the music scene goes and stuff like that, I just feel out of the loop a lot of times. You know, I feel out of the loop. And I haven't DJ'd in probably 7-8 months or something like that, which is cool. You know, it is what it is. How it went down, whatever, you know. It is what it is. I think if a business owner knows that their business is in trouble, you let the employees know ahead of time. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I don't have any hard feelings. I wish everybody the best, and I don't ever really hold grudges towards people, because I am somebody who loves everybody. But when I say that, there are some things in my opinion that I don't agree with when people do, you know. But when it comes to business, you don't want to get so into it to where the line between business and personal meshes together, because then that's where it gets sticky, you know. Situations happen and it is what it is, and then you leave it at that. But yeah, I haven't DJ'd in a long time, guys, and so it's not like I'm going around and trying to keep up with, oh, you know, who's listening to what and this. I'm over it. I'm over this until someone can show me some rap or hip hop that I can understand, or something that's like something that has some substance to it, and not about like bullshit, basically. You know, something that has substance to it. So also shout out to all my R&B heads, man. I'm still writing and recording and things like that as far as R&B music, because some of y'all know, besides photography, know the things that I do. I love to sing and I like to write as well. And so I got some things in the works there. I've been having some things in the works for a few years now, but finally getting close to getting some things done. But yeah, just as far as the music goes, man, I get sent things. Oh man, listen to this, or here's a song from so and so, and I'm just like, I don't get it. It's not that I'm trying. It's not that I don't mean to be disrespectful. I don't mean to be rude or anything. I just don't. I don't know what you're saying. And then there's so many people in the club that are dancing to this, like, oh, this is the shit, and it's like, how do you know, man? I mean, if the beat is tight, cool. If the beat moves you, that's what's up. But I miss music that has substance to it, And there are some artists out there that are dope though, that do have substance. Childish Gambino, substance. Kendrick Lamar, substance. B.O.B., substance. There's certain rappers out there, J. Cole, substance. You can understand what they're saying. And then there's just artists that just really have dope beats, and that's because of their producers, and shout out to all the producers out there that are just knocking out beats, man, and making some great music for people to get live to. Keep doing what y'all do. But yeah, man, if you're an upcoming artist, if you're an upcoming like hip hop star or rap star or whatever, man, please keep it to where people can understand what you're saying and have some substance. Again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to people that do have that mumble rap stuff. And again, I don't like to say that, but that's the only way it could be described. But, well, not the only way, but that's the easiest way for me to describe it. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, like it's an art form and y'all work hard on it, but for me personally, I just don't understand it. I don't get it. So, but keep doing what you're doing. Obviously, if it's successful, keep doing what you're doing. So, but I don't even know how I got on that whole subject of the music thing. I know through the internet and all that kind of stuff, but on the internet though, you can find some really, really awesome artists that otherwise you would not have heard of. And that's one of the best things about the internet, kind of bringing it full circle as far as me being old and being alive before the internet. You can find anything on the internet, which is a gift and a curse. That too is a gift and a curse, because that's one of those things that's like, you literally can find everything on the internet, anything and everything. And that also makes it very scary, because when you're raising a child and, you can use the internet to your advantage, or you can use it as an advantage, or it's going to be your competition. Because regardless whether or not you don't give your children or child cell phones or a computer or whatever, they're going to go to a place that does have it, and they're going to be using it. And so what I would do is, it's just the times that we live in. Try to do your best to educate your children or your child on what things to actually do online. Show them the positive things about the internet. Show them the things that they can, like, it's a tool. Use it as a tool to achieve something that they're working towards. There's so many young, successful people that are on the internet because of how they use the internet. They're business minded, or they're goal oriented. You don't have to be the smartest kid in the room to be successful. Whatever success is to you. There's plenty of people that they don't have a job, or as far as a 9 to 5, like they don't get up and go somewhere and then come home after a certain hour. They do it from home, and they do it with their own equipment. There's so many self-made people that are doing their own thing, and it's awesome. And there's no reason why anybody can't do that, but use the internet for the right reason. But on the flip side of that, there's also people that use the internet for things that aren't the best either. And those are the things that I think you have to kind of watch out for. So that's kind of what my thought is. But anyways, guys, this is the first D podcast experience, and thank y'all so much for rocking with me. The DPC experience at gmail.com, the DPC experience at gmail.com. email me, please, and let me know what's good. Let me know what you want me to talk about. Let me know as far as if you like my opinion on something, or if you're having issues, if you just want advice or whatever the case may be. Just let me know, and I'll do my best to answer any questions or anything like that, guys. But until then, y'all know I love you. I just want you to love yourself so we can love others, okay? All right, guys. Until next time, be good. I'm out.
I might have to take your number when I'm through with you. All I ask of you is try to earn my memory. Make me remember you like you remember me.